Hello everyone, you're welcome to the exercise video on Python list. So the first thing I want to do in this video is to change the title to exercises on Python list. So one thing I need you to understand about these videos on Python exercises is that I won't be so explicit in explaining every step and every tool that I'll be using. Attached to each exercise video is a link to the original teaching on that particular Python tool or Python method. So I would want to encourage you to click on the link and do well to learn about the methods, and then you can now carry out the exercises. Now, the very important reason why I do this exercise is to enable you, my esteemed audience, to build a GitHub portfolio. I will try to create a video on how to open a GitHub account and creating a repository in GitHub. So this will enable you to save all the exercises that you've been doing, save it in a particular repository, and of course, whenever you want to show your employer, your prospective employer, about your skills, you can be able to refer them to your GitHub account. So that is the primary reason why I do these videos on Python exercises. So in today's video, we are moving ahead into Python list. So these were the topics I covered in the Python list video, and these will be the tasks we are going to consider. There are quite a number of them: task 1, task 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we want to start up ASAP. In task 1, it is actually a basic list operation. So we are asked to create a list of 5 different fruits and print the list. Add two more fruits to the list and print the updated list. Then we are to remove the third item from the list and print the list. We are to sort the list in alphabetical order and print it. And then we are also to reverse the order of the list and print it. Okay, so let's go forth and work on that. So we are to create a list of 5 different fruits and print it. So we would go. Now this will be task 1. So we write create a list of 5 different fruits and print the list. Okay, let's call these fruits equal to, then we'll give this apple, we'll give this banana, we'll give this cherry. Then we have mango, orange. Now we want to print. So print, we'll use the F string, and then original list. We'll pass this in as a dictionary, fruits, and then we'll close this. So we are creating a list of 5 different fruits. You can see them. So let's print this out and see. So the original list: apple, banana, cherry, mango, and orange. Now let's go to the second. It says add 2 more fruit to the list and print the updated list. So in order to add two more fruit to the list, we are going to make a comment, add two more fruits to the list, and print the updated list. So in this case, we'll use the append function. So we'll say fruits dot append, call this pineapple, and then we'll append another one, fruits dot append, call this grapes. We'll print, we'll use the F string once again. We'll say this is updated list to be fruits. So I'm going to comment this out. So we append pineapple, the first fruit, apple, the second fruit. We'll append it to this original list. So we'll print this out. Beautiful. So you can see two more fruits. Initially there were 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now 6 and 7. So let's see the third one, which it says we should remove the third item from the list, and then we should print the list, the third item from the list. So this is 1, 2, and 3. So we are removing cherry. So to do that, I'll come here and then I'll write remove the third fruits from the list. I'll call the variable name fruit dot. We are using the pop function to remove. So we'll put in 2 there, and then I can come here to say remove the fruit cherry, and then we are printing this F string once again. After removing third item. Okay, so this will be fruits. So I'm going to comment this out again. Run it. So you can see there is no more cherry. Apple, banana, no more cherry. So we'll go to, so we use the pop function to remove item from a list. So then we go to the next one, which is to sort the list in alphabetical order and to print it. So we'll sort it in alphabetical order. So in this case, we'll now type sort the list in alphabetical order and print it. So we are sorting, so we'll say fruit dot sort. So the sort function by default helps us to sort the lists. We'll print F sorted list call these fruits. Beautiful. So you can see it has been sorted already. A, B, G, M, O, P. So it sorts it in alphabetical order from A to Z. Now the final in task 1 is to reverse the order of the list and to print it. So we are reversing the order of the list. So comfort, reverse the order of the list. So in this case we'll say fruits dot reverse. So the reverse function reverses whatsoever changes that has been made already. F reversed list. So call these fruits. Then let me comment this out. Run this. Beautiful. So you can see, so it has reversed the sorting that we applied previously. Yeah. So it reversed it, and then you have P starting the list. So while the sorts it in alphabetical order A to Z, the reverse sorts it in descending order. Okay, permit me to use that word, Z to A. So it's the reverse of the normal way. So that is on task 1, which is the basic list operation. Now I want to go to task 2, which is assessing list elements or items. So each word or value in a list is called elements, okay, or items, depending on the usage. So we want to see, in this case, we'll be creating a list of 10 numbers. We'll print the first, second, and last elements. We'll use slicing to print the first 5 elements, the first 5 numbers, and then we'll print every second element in the list. So let's go forth and work on this together. So we'll call this task 2. Okay, there's no need for this. So what does it say in the first? It said we should create a list of 10 numbers. So create a list of 10 numbers. So in this case, we'll call it numbers equal to, we have the square brackets, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and 100. So let's see. Now, what does it say we should do next? Create a list, okay, of 10 numbers. Then it says we should print the first, second, and last elements. So we'll come here and then we'll say print the first, comma, second, and last element. Okay, so now we are printing f string, and then we would say first. So in the case of this first, we want it to be in a dictionary form, and then we'll say number. So we are going to, what is the first number? Of course, this is the first number, right, which is 10. So we are saying first we assign it a variable. Okay, not really a variable though, but then we assign it an item. Okay, so we say first we want the number to be the first number, so in that case it will have an index of 0. So in a list, this is index 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that way. So whenever you are calling an item, you call it using the index. So we are literally saying assign this first value to the numbers, okay, to the number that is in the numbers list and having an index of 0. So then we go forth, and then we need the second. So we'll call this, is it the second? Let me see. It says second and last. Okay, beautiful. So we are going for the second and the last, so we'll say second. And then we'll give this a dictionary. So we'll say numbers. We want the index 1. And then the last, call this last. We want the index -1. So this is what we call negative indexing. I want to encourage you to please go and watch my video on Python list. So this is called negative indexing. Negative indexing starts from the back to start counting. So it will start from here. So this is -1. Okay, so now we want to print. So let's see this. Shift and enter. Beautiful. So you can see the first number is 10, second number is 20, last is 100. So I can come here and put first number, second number, and last number. Beautiful. So let's go forth and see what we have. It now says use slicing to print the first 5 numbers. To use slicing to print the first 5 numbers. So we are printing the first 5 numbers. So in this case, we are going to say print f-string first 5 numbers, and then in this case we would put it into the dictionary number into the curly brackets. Okay, into the curly bracket. So many times this curly bracket is used with a dictionary. Each symbol is used for a particular object in Python. This square bracket is for lists. This curved bracket is for tuple, and this curly bracket is for dictionary. So I may be interchanging it. I may call this dictionary anytime I want to use it, or I may call it curly bracket. So, but I just hope you get what I mean. So I want to identify using the first 5. So the first 5, anytime you want to mention the first 5, it will begin. This empty space here means the first 5. So first value down to the 5th value. So when we print this now, let me comment this out. Let's see the error. Number is not defined. Okay, so we'll put S here because we have it numbers. Beautiful. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that is it. Now let's go check out other ones. It says now, so we've just sliced to print the first 5. Now I want to print every second element in the list. I want to print every second element in the list. To do that, I'll go forth and then I'll type print every second element in the list. So we are printing. So in this case, I'll say f string every second element in the list. That will be long. Let's use every second element, and then we are putting this in a curly brackets. We say numbers. Then we are putting colon, and 2. Okay, so every second element. So this is 1 and this is 2. Then it would avoid 30, go to 40. It will avoid 50 and then go to 60. That is what these signs mean. So in the earlier task, you have seen that this runs it the first 5. Okay, just you've seen. So there is no interval. There's no interval. It just takes it serially. But in this case, this colon that is here will now put an interval between one value and the next value. Okay, so run this. Beautiful. So you can see 10, and then it's dumped 20, and then 30. So every second element in the field. So that is what it does. It prints it. Python list manipulation. How to manipulate a list. So in this case, we'll create a list of 5 colors. It has been given already. We'll replace green with purple and print the list. We'll insert white at index 2 and print the list. And we'll remove the last item and print the list. So let's go forth. What I will simply do, I'll copy this. Control C, create the list of 5 colors. So we'll come here and then I'll call this tax 3. Create a list of 5 colors. Call these colors equals paste. Beautiful. So you can see now we are going to print f string, and then we have the original list. This will be colors. Beautiful. So you can see that original list that way. So they are all in a list. We'll go to the second, which is on it says replace green with purple and print the list. So we'll go here, replace green with purple. So in order to replace green with purple, I'll call forth the index. Remember the index, right? So colors, which is index 2, the value which is in index 2. Okay, I'm going to assign it a new value called purple. So remember I told you that every value in a list or element in a list has index. So this is index 0, index 1, and index 2. So that is why colors is having 2. So we are replacing green with purple. So I'll print f-string updated lists. I need to comment this out. Updated list colors. So you can see, beautiful. So the green which is here has been replaced with purple. Now the next thing I want to see is to insert white and index 2 and print the list. To insert white on index 2 and print the list. So whenever we are inserting, we are not replacing. So whatever element that is on index 2 would have to move forward, while the new element would take the place of index 2. So let's check it out together. So in index 2, this is 0, 1, and 2. So insert does not replace. Okay, instead it would fix the value or the element in that position while the former value or element moves forward. So let's see. So we'll say this is insert white at index 2. So this is colors dot insert 2. Okay, and then we are fixing white. So the insert function takes in two parameters: the position of the index and also the element. So we are printing f, and then we are saying lists after insertion, and then we'll call this colors. Okay, let's see. I'm going to comment this out, run that again. Beautiful. So you can see, so white has come to take the place of purple, while purple has moved forward to the next task and to the next position, please. So we go forth. We have removed the last item and print the list. Remove the last item and print the list. So we want to remove the last item and print the list. So this will be colors dot pop, and then the pop function removes the last item on the list. So we are printing f once again, list after last item remover. This will be colors. So run this. Run it again. Beautiful. So you can see. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So the last item has been removed. So we go to task number 4, which is working with loops and list comprehension. Working with loops and list comprehension. So we'll come here, we'll give this task 4. So in this case, let's go to the first one. It says create a list of numbers from 1 to 10. Use a for loop to print each number multiplied by 2. Use a while loop to print only even numbers from the list. Use list comprehension to create a new list containing the square of each number. So we'll go forth and then we'll create a list of numbers from 1 to 10. So that's, I'll call this variable name numbers equals, I'll call this a list, and then I'll use the range function to get me a list from 1 down to 11. So what actually happens is that in the range you have the starting number and then you also have the ending number. Normally the range takes in 3 parameters: the start, the interval, and then the end. So many times the end is not part of the values. Okay, the end is not part of the values. So you may want to check that out. I want to say print numbers. Let's see. Can you see? So 11 is not part of the value. So that is how range works. So we have, it says create a list of numbers from 1 to 10. So the next thing we want to do, let's see. It says use a for loop to print each number multiplied by 2. A for loop to print each number. So each number here, we are going to use a for loop to multiply by 2. So I'll come here, and then I'll say a for loop to multiply each number by 2. And then let's see what happens. So we are printing number multiplied by 2. So let's see what it will give to us. So we are going to use for num in numbers, print num times 2. Okay, so print number multiplied by 2. So in this case, we are saying for num in numbers, print n num multiplied by 2. So let's run this and see. Beautiful. So you can see number multiplied by 2. So you have 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, and 20. Beautiful. So let's go to the next. Let's go to the next. It says we should use a while loop to print only even numbers from the list. Use a while loop to print only even numbers. So from these values now, from this 1 to 10, we are going to print only the even numbers from the list. So to do that, let me comment this. Then also I'll comment this on this. Okay, so this will be while loop to print only even numbers. So let's see. In this case, we'll say print even numbers. And then we'll say I equals 0. Of course, I is always starting from 0. So while I is less than the length of the numbers, so what should it do? It will check if the numbers which is having an index of I, okay, divided by 2, the answer is the same as 0. So what this means is that I is equal to 0. It is starting from 0. Now this I, if it is, while it is less than the length of the numbers, which of course it is true, now it will check if that particular number, okay, having the index is dividing 2. So why we are not using the slanted division sign is because this is called the modulo sign. I've explained that in one of my videos. So the modulo sign divides 2 and returns a remainder. So we are using the if function to say if the index position I, because every value within the list has index position, if that index position divides 2 and the remainder is equal to 0, then we continue with the loop. Okay, so whatever we want it to give to us, we'll continue with it in the next line. So what that means is that even numbers divide 2 and there are no remainders. Okay, there are no remainders. The remainders is 0. Okay, so that is what we are going to use to ascertain values that are even numbers. So now we'll now say print numbers, and then we need that particular index, and then I plus or equal to 1. So let's see this. Beautiful. So you can see even numbers 2, 4, 6, 8, and 10. 10 divided by 2 is 5, the remainder is 0. 8 divided by 2 is 4, the remainder is 0. Okay, so I believe that you get the major point. The I is equal to 0. Yes, that is true. Now, while I is less than the length of these numbers, and of course that is true because I is not greater than the length of these numbers. The length simply means the total count of the values that are there. If numbers having the index I will divide 2 and the remainder is 0, then it should print numbers together with the index. Not together though, but the index of the numbers variable. Okay, the index of the numbers variable, that is what this means. So then I plus or equal 1. And then that is the answer that you can see there. So let's go forward to the next one, which is to use list comprehension to create a new list containing the square of each number. So we are going to use list comprehension to create a new list, and that new list will contain the square of each number. So list comprehension is the short way of making changes to a list. So let's see. So we are looking at list comprehension to create a new list containing the square of each number. Squares equals number square 2. Okay, so we are going to give this a variable name called squares, and then we are saying the number will be raised to the power of 2 for num in numbers. So the list comprehension uses the old lists and manipulates whatever is in the old list into a new list. And many times it uses the for loop. Okay, it uses the for loop. It makes it a one-line code. Normally when you use a for loop or even a while loop, it involves multiple lines. You can see that. Okay, here we have it. So it involves multiple lines, but the list comprehension will make it into one. So this is the num, which we represent for every number in the numbers variable. And then we are saying for every number in numbers variable, raise that number by 2. Raise it up by 2. And then assign it to a new variable called squares. So let's print this now. So we are printing f squares of numbers. We give you squares. Let's run this. Beautiful. So you can see. Let's comment this out. Beautiful. 4 raised to the power of 2 raised to the power of 2 is 4. 3 raised to the power of 2 is 9. 4 raised to the power of 2 is 16. So you can see that up until 100. So this is how you use a list comprehension to create a new list, and you get your response or the result. So let's go further. Okay, we are done with task 4. We want to go to task 5, which is advanced list operations. So we are writing a program that takes a list of numbers and removes duplicates. And then also we'll create a nested list of 3 students' record, name, age, and grade, access, and then print the second student's details. We write a function that finds the maximum and minimum value in a given list. We write a program to merge 2 lists without using the addition operator. We write a program that checks if a given element exists in a list and returns its index. Beautiful. These are advanced list operations. So let's go. So the first one says write a program that takes a list of numbers and removes duplicates. So we'll come here and then we'll say task 5. We are write a program to remove duplicates from a list. So we are going to define a class, and then we'll call this remove underscore duplicates. Then we'll pass in the parameter lst. We want it to return lists, which will be in the form of a set and the parameter. Okay, now we'll set this variable as norms equals, remember it says a program that takes a list of numbers and then removes duplicates. So that means this list will have numbers and those numbers will have duplicates. So we'll set 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 4, and 5. Now let's print it out. Let's see. So we are printing f string. This will be list without duplicates. Remove underscore duplicates. And then we are going to pass in the norms. We'll close this. Also we'll close this. We'll put in the string and then we'll close. So I'm going to explain this. So we defined the program already, and then we'll assign it the name remove duplicates. And then the parameter is lst. So we want it to return lists of the set lst. Now the variable name has already been given here, and that variable name is actually in the form of a list which contains values, and some of those values are duplicates. So we want to print. We are printing using the f string list without duplicates, so it will remove the duplicates and then it will return to us numbers without duplicates. So let's run this and see. Beautiful. So you can see numbers without duplicates. Now you may be wondering, what is it with set? Now set is actually a Python object, just as I've explained. This sign is used to represent sets. What set does is that values that are duplicates are not allowed in a set. Now this is a list. In a list you can put in duplicate values. That's quite okay. But in a set you can't put in duplicate values. Even if you put in duplicate values, Python will not return the duplicate value. It will only return the unique values. So that is why we are using a set here. So we are returning the list, and then we are using this set to sieve out the duplicate values, and then returning the parameter lst. So that is just what we've done here. Let's go to the next one and see. So it says create a nested list of 3 students' record, name, age, and grade. Access and print the second student's name. So a nested list. A nested list is a list inside another list. That's powerful. A list inside another list. So we are going to have name, age, and grade. Okay, so let's go forth and do that. Permit me to use this cell. So we'll say nested list of students records. So it says a nested list. So this will be students equal. Okay. Now we'll have another list. This is the first list, and then we are now creating a nested list. So we'll say Alice, 20 years of age, and then our grade is A. We'll pass in the comma. Call this person Bob, 22 years of age, then he has got a B, comma, Charlie, 21 years of age, and then he has got an A. Beautiful. So what's the next thing that we have to do? Let's go back. It says access and print the second student's details. So we have to access and print the second student's details. So to do that, I'll say, I'll put this as a comment, access second student's details. So we'll say print F second students details. Would definitely be, let me put this in curly bracket, students, and then we want the index of 1. So just as I've said earlier, this is 0, and this is 1, and this is 2. So we run this. Beautiful. So you can see that is the second student's details. Now let's go further and see the next one. It says write a program that finds the maximum and minimum value in a given list. To find the maximum and minimum value in a given list. So we'll come here and then we'll say find the maximum and minimum value in a given list. So let's see what we have. We'll call a variable name called max value, and then mean value will be equal to, before that we are supposed to define, please. So we are defining find max mean. Okay, so we still use the parameter lst, and then we want it to return the max. So we'll use the max function to return the max of lst, and then mean to return lst. So we'll run in the parameter, the variables now. So the numbers equal to 12, 45, 78, 3, 99, 23. So we'll say max and minimum value, okay, will be equal to find max mean. numbers. Now what do we want it to do? It's going to print for us using the f string max. This will be equal to max value. Okay, and then we have comma mean. It's going to print mean value, and I'll close this. So we have just defined an object here, and then we are saying find max mean. LST, we are returning the max. So the max function returns the highest value or the highest elements in that list. The main function returns the lowest value or lowest elements in the list. So we have the list already called numbers, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 elements in the numbers list. So it will search across and then produce for us max value and then mean value. So we are now saying find max mean, which is numbers. Okay, the find max mean is a function, and then we use it to take in the numbers. Remember, that is what we defined. That was the function we defined here. So we say find max mean. So we are now saying that function taking the parameter numbers, which is this. So that means whatever action or whatever methods that we have applied in this function, it will play out in the numbers, and then we'll print f max will be max value, which will return this, and then mean will be mean value, which will return this. So let's go forth and print. Beautiful. So you can see max is 99 and then mean is 3. So this is how you can find max and mean value in a given list. Now finally, we want to go and check the last one, which says the last, please. It says write a program to merge two lists without the plus operator. To merge two lists without the plus operator or the addition operator. So we are saying merge two lists without plus. So we'll define the function in this case. So we'll define merge underscore list, and then we'll take in two parameters. We'll call this list 1 and also list 2. And then what do we see? We'll say for item in list 2, because what it is saying is that, let's see it together again. Write a program to merge two lists without using the plus operator. So that two lists, one is having list 1 and then other is list 2. So for item in list 2, we want the list 1 to use the append function to append the item. Okay, and then what does it do? It will return for us list 1. So now let's create the list. So this is list 1, which is equal to 1, 2, 3. List 2, which is equal to 4, 5, 6. And then what are we doing? We are printing f. So we are saying merge lists. We'll put in the curly bracket, merge lists, which is this function here. So we are now applying the function to the list 1 and also to list 2. So let's see. Beautiful. So it has merged 4, 5, and 6 to the list 1, which is called the merged list. So you can see we did that using the function append. So the append function helps you to add a list to another list, and it adds it at the back end. So now let's go. We see it says the next and the final says write a program that checks if a given element exists in a list and returns its index. If a given element exists in the list and return its index. So this will be checking if a given element in a list and return the index. So in this case, we are still going to define the function. We are defining find element, and then we'll call this lst, and then we'll call this element. Now we'll use the if function to check if element is present in lst, return lst dot index. So it will return the index of the element. Now if it returns it, what happens? It will return -1. So let's see it again. It says if a given element exists in a list, and then it will return its index. So it is the index that it is returning here. Now we are going to assign a variable name, search list, which will be equal to. So let's give this different fruits: apple, banana, and then let's say cherry, mango. Okay, let's see. So the elements that I want to find. Okay, is the word called banana. And then we want the index to be find elements, which is the function that we've given earlier, and then search lists elements to find. So this index, we are putting it out as a variable name. So we are saying find elements, which is the function here. You search through this list, and then also within this list you search for the word banana, that is element to find. So we've already assigned search list as a variable here. Element to find, we've assigned it also as a variable here. So we are using this function now on these two variables, and then we are assigning whatever we find to the index. So now we'll say print index of, okay, so let's see, this will be elements to find. Okay, so remove this, and then we need the index, close this. So let's see this index of this particular value. The index, if index is not equal to -1, else element not found. So what is happening here is that literally we are using the short way of the if function. So we are saying that print for us index of element to find, which is banana. I have to put F here, which is banana. So index of banana will be, so we are saying index, it will now check index. If it's not equal to -1, it will print, else it will print elements not found. If it is not equal to -1, it will print, else it will say elements not found. So let's run this. Okay, let's see the error. It says closing parenthesis over here. Shift and enter. What is again? Unterminated string lateral editorial line 10. Let's see. Elements not found. Okay, I guess I did a mistake somewhere. Let me make this 1. And then also let me make this 1. Okay, let's run this. Name element to find is not defined. Element to find, this is I, ND equals banana. Beautiful. So you can see index of banana is 1. Index of banana is 1. So if else, it would have printed element is not found. If let's say we put something like guava, can you see element not found? So that is how you can be able to check for elements within a list, and apart from that, you can be able to return the index of that value. So I hope you've been able to learn something new today. Please do well to subscribe to my channel, watch my videos, share and comment. Please share and comment. It enables me to create more amazing videos like this for you guys. Thank you and see you next time.